My Time at Evershine is the third installment of the popular My Time series. The My Time series, Portia and Sandrock, is known for its superb narrative and cast, and a lot of which you can romance. However, the contents were not made equal, at least in terms of courtship and dating storyline. This time around, Bethea, the developer of the series, meant to address this by being transparent about who the core romanceables will be. Core romanceable characters will have a significant storyline in terms of romance, and so far we have 6 confirmed: Victor, Avery, Ragnar, Dia, Freya, and Panna. So what does that mean for the other single characters in the game? Well, we do not know yet if they will receive the Polly or Pablo treatment, where they can still be romanced with not much romantic content as compared with the core romanceables. However, we are able to vote for one bachelor and one bachelorette that will be upgraded to core romanceables in terms of content. So, in this video, we'll discuss the different backgrounds and conditions of the 12 candidates in My Time at Evershine, as well as my thoughts and a few details on their appearances in earlier games. And hopefully, you'd have a better grasp on each of them and an inkling of who you're going to vote for. Voting is planned by the end of the Kickstarter campaign through a survey. So without further ado, first up among the male candidates is Kang. He's a young and driven builder from Highwind. His goal is to win a build-off against the builder of the decade in Sandrock. After losing a competition in Portia and being told to buzz off, he's trying to find a place to improve his skills and prove himself. If he looks familiar to you, that's because he was originally part of Project Me with a more serious aura. His current appearance, I feel, better represents what his updated backstory is. Then we have Shin, a skilled tailor with a sharp mind, known for his ability to outsmart anyone trying to haggle with him. He's lived alone in the mountains for years, waiting for something or someone, though no one really knows what or who. Similar to Kang, he was part of Project Me, but with just minor tweaks from his first concept image. Moving on, we have Stev, who was a Duval soldier who got caught during an operation in the Alliance. After a prisoner swap deal, he was supposed to be sent back to Duvals with other soldiers, but somehow ended up alone in northern Eufaula. If you've played My Time at Sandrock before, then you've met him near the end of Act 2, where you'll find the circumstances of a Duval soldier. And maybe some of them aren't so bad after all. Maybe. Then we have Rudy, who used to be a successful businessman in Atara, with everything going for him. But after a series of bad events, he lost it all. Now he's not sure what to do and is considering giving up or trying altogether. He has quite a sad backstory, but color me intrigued on what could happen to get back up. He was also brainstormed back in Project Me with slight changes on his outfit. I do think the button outfit and glasses make him a much more serious character. Up next is Atticus. He lost his wife during childbirth many years ago, leaving him to raise his kids, Jasper and Garnet, as well as take care of his father-in-law, Idaho, who's a bit eccentric. Life on the frontier hasn't been easy, but Atticus always did his best for his family without complaining. Now that his children are grown, he's figuring out what comes next in his life. An older romanceable is pretty interesting for me, and with a big family too. I wonder how the interactions would be between the members. Next up is Waylon. He doesn't talk about his past and always avoids the topic when someone asks. He's well liked for his sense of humor and combat skills, but there are moments when you catch him staring off into the distance, deep in thought. One of my favorite aspects in Sandrock is the comedic duo Unsure and Justice, so I'm hoping Evershine retains some of that comedy gold. I'm not good at combat, so I'm definitely looking forward to Waylon's capabilities. Moving on to the female characters, we have Luca, who is known for her cheerful and witty personality, brightening any room she enters. But when her father arranged for her to marry the heir of a popular restaurant in Walnut Grove, she decided to run away instead of going through with it. Luca was actually first seen alongside Rudy at the Project Me trailer, and so far nothing too significant changed. If she does win though, will we finally meet more people from Walnut Grove? Up next is Garnet, a girl who loves plants and animals and dreams of studying in Highwind. But since her family doesn't have much money and her dad works hard, she chose to stay home to help out and take care of her grandpa who's suffering from amnesia. You heard that right. Garnet, Atticus's daughter, is another core romanceable candidate. And with Pathea pushing for multiplayer right off the bat, it would be awesome if players could become in-laws of some sort. Just my 2 cents. Then we have Ines, who used to be a lively reporter for the Atara Times. But after spending 2 years covering the destruction and suffering in Orzu, she's lost that spark. She's now been reassigned to report on the Northern Development Project. Ines was also conceptualized during Project Me, but she definitely had the most changes so far. And her outfit now reminds me of Ernest, and to my surprise, she was also a reporter. I guess they wear this kind of outfit in this world. Up next is Hua. She was pushed into the Northern Rangers by her father to help her rise quickly in politics. Though she's talented at almost everything, she hated being in the military. Now she finds that her old classmate, Yu, has become a governor, and I'm excited to see what comes next for her. I do love childhood tropes, and I feel like Nia's storyline was done pretty well in Sandrock. Similar to Shin, nothing too significant was changed from her concept art back in Project Me. Next up is Barika, an engineer from Lucian, working for the richest man in the Free Cities, Musa. She's always been resourceful and calm under pressure, but after a mistake she regrets, Barika started doubting herself. Musa sent her to the frontier to clear her head. Musa felt pretty intimidating to me back in Sandrock, so having worked with him speaks volumes on her capabilities and her as a person. She's definitely someone I have my eye on. What could be that mistake that could crush her confidence? Then we have Madeline. She has always worked hard in the trade business and dreamed of finding love, but never found the time for it and has accepted that it might never happen. Now she helps Director Gaudi expand trade networks for the Northern Development Project. I really liked Heidi in Sandrock. Working office ladies are just somehow always reliable. And speaking of Gaudi, it's unfortunate that he isn't a candidate given that he was also introduced alongside Avery during the Sandrock Alliance arc. Maybe he has a bigger role? Even still, I'm hoping the developers would consider him in the future. That said, if you want to be in the loop for the latest My Time at Evershine updates, subscribe to our channel so you won't miss out. So, do you have an idea on who you will vote for? Let us know in the comments below. One of the stretch goals in Kickstarter lets us have one more additional core romanceable NPC on top of the original 2. Given that the campaign is still pretty early, I'm manifesting that we get more stretch goals with additional slots for more core romanceables. But what do you think? Oh, and if you haven't seen it already, we cover My Time at Sandrock and shared some beginner and romance tips on the channel. So if you're looking for more My Time series content, check this out. See you there and stay awesome, gamers!